Welcome. I'm Crystal Smith. I'm the Executive Director of South Dakota Farm Bureau, and joining me today on our special Zoom series is a new face to our organization, Danny Hansen, who is our Director of Public Policy for South Dakota Farm Bureau. Welcome, Danny.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, this is really fun that we get to just have a kind of a chat between the two of us about a really fun and exciting initiative that South Dakota Farm Bureau is kicking off. We actually, as a state organization, recently received a grant from the American Farm Bureau Federation to launch and develop a policy initiative effort. And Danny, you are really going to be leading a lot of this effort, and give us a little high level about exactly what this grant is for and some things that we'll be doing.
Yeah, so we're really excited about this. American Farm Bureau challenged states to think creatively about ways that they could engage their grassroots members on policy development and advocacy. And so we took that challenge and looked at some of the things that were happening in the industry this spring and really saw an opportunity to engage members and do a little education and advocacy around livestock markets. So that's going to be kind of the focus of our project, and all of this will culminate hopefully at our convention in November in Rapid with a roundtable discussion about a specific policy issue.
Mm-hmm. Well, and as we know, the COVID-19 pandemic has really shaped a lot of things that are happening in our industry right now, and lots of questions around the food supply chain and livestock markets. And even though we know that that was an event that kind of turned everything upside down, just the fundamentals of the markets and how food moves through from farm to fork is, I think, a great discussion and really what we've decided to focus on. So give us a few more details about, maybe the topics that we'll be talking about.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of proposals and ideas out there that have come about based on some of the reactions we've seen throughout the COVID pandemic, and then some other market things that have happened previously too, that have a lot of people curious about how markets are functioning and whether they're functioning appropriately. And so this is really an opportunity to take a deep dive into that and look at the food supply chain as a whole. Obviously, that's a really big topic to look at. And so the first step for us is going to be talking to our members so we can kind of narrow it down into a manageable topic. And so we are going to be asking members through a survey about what they want to learn more about. And the first question that we really want to hear back from is there a specific livestock class that you want to learn more about? We hear a lot about the cattle markets, but there's been some disruptions in pork and dairy as well. And so want to get some feedback on what livestock class they want to learn more about. And then if there's specific topics within those livestock classes that they want to know more about, whether it's labeling issues or international trade, there's a lot of different things we could dive into. And so hopefully we'll hear from members kind of some things that they want to learn about. And we will build a really strong webinar series that'll help provide a good foundation for folks headed into the fall.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a great point. And to reference the survey, that is something our members will be receiving today. And we're really excited to get that feedback. And for those of you who are listening to this as well, we ask that you just take a few minutes of your time to fill that survey out. But while we really want to gauge the sentiments of our current members, Danny, what is the overall goal of the programming that we'll be developing, and who our audience is really going to be?
Yeah, so we know that our members care a lot about good policy and developing good policy and how those policies impact livestock markets and the bottom line that producers receive. We know there's a lot of other people in the industry that care about that as well. So we're going to open this up to any producer who might be interested, policymakers who want to learn more about the livestock industry, and anybody else from the agribusiness sector to other folks that might just be interested in learning a little bit more about where their food comes from.
We're very excited. We have a lot of ideas already of bringing in kind of thought leaders into the conversation and providing speaker opportunities for our members and any livestock producer or producer out there who might be interested. So maybe give us a little teaser about what we might be seeing over the next few months.
Yeah, so we're really excited. We're hoping to be able to kick off our first webinar series the end of July or early August, and then have a webinar offering about every 2 weeks through August, September, and October. Maybe have one in early November. And then, like I said, this will really culminate in a roundtable discussion around a specific policy issue that will run in conjunction with our annual convention in November out in Rapid City. And we're hoping that that roundtable discussion will be able to bring in some of those thought leaders, policymakers, producers to really have a good in-depth conversation about some policy issue that might be of interest at that point and might be moving in the future, whether that's at the state or federal level.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that we really want to stress through all of this is that this is a free opportunity for really anyone to take part in. And American Farm Bureau Federation awarded us this grant because, they want to see real healthy and strong dialogue around policy issues so that we are always getting that grassroots input from members about, really what they want us to work on.
Yep. And we know there's a lot of conversations already happening. So if we can bring some experts in to talk about the topics of conversation and provide a good level of data and education for people, that's going to make for good policy development this fall.
That's a great point. And so we're very excited to get started. So stay tuned, and we will be promoting our webinar series. So we just encourage people to kind of keep an eye out for that. So thanks again for this great information and discussion, Danny. And again, please keep an eye out for the survey and fill that out, and watch the South Dakota Farm Bureau website, social media, and other resources for more information.
Thanks, Crystal.